Right now we're gonna learn different ways to set up the armbar. Okay, and this is like very effective and work for every single level. All right, there's a way that we learn. You probably learn like that as well. If you don't, I will show you again here. But I'm gonna show you both ways. Okay, so I'll show you when you grab here, and I'll show you also when you grab the head. And I think when you grab the head is more effective. But we gotta go like little by little. We gotta advance the technique, so make sure you understand everything. Okay? So first I'll underhook like this. Underhook his top arm. So if he's crossing like this, I go in the top arm and I underhook like this. I push his triceps and I put my chest right on top of his triceps. Okay, I move my hand forward right here and I advance this knee also close to his head. Okay? And once I do this, I go step 1, step 2, step 3. Once I do this, I go to the ass mount. I'm not waiting for him to turn sideways. I'm forcing myself to be sideways. Yeah, I have the underhook like this. Now I lean forward, okay? I can change my grip. 1, post my hand on the floor, pass my leg over, and then finish him right here. Okay? That's a great armbar as well. So you can finish him from the top. You can also fall down. Okay? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So now, why I change my hand? Because I can post. Okay, my hand on the floor. Alright? If I keep on this side, it's hard for me to post. Okay? I like to go here because also I can grab his knee and turn him this way. More I turn him this way, it's easier for me to get the armbar. So now on this one, I just press my leg and make sure my inner thigh is right on top of his triceps here. Okay? And now I can start bridging and finishing. Okay? Force him to tap. Or I can go down. And then I go to the armbar here. But when I go down, I give a chance to my opponent to escape. Alright? Especially sometimes you're going to turn thumb down like this and start running like that. Okay? So we will be here, okay, on this position. And then we're going to start working on the things that we learned. Okay, if I fall with my hips on the floor. But if not, I like this. I prefer to be here. And just force him to tap here. Alright, I can go here too. I can go forward. Okay, and then I look towards his legs. Jonathan, turn, Jonathan. He's going to turn and look to his legs, and then he'll turn. Now I'm here. The good thing of this, he's already with the arms straight. Okay? This is a little bit more advanced, but that's how I can apply the technique. Okay? Again. So step 1, step 2, step 3. See, my leg goes under his arm. Okay? So I go step 1, step 2, knee close to his head. Now this leg cannot go here. Okay? You can, but it's easier for him to start framing and escaping. Okay? So try to keep this leg under his triceps here. Okay? Now you change. Professor, what about if you change the grip? Like this. Here. Okay? No problem. You still get the underhook here. Right? Now you pass the leg over. You can still get the armbar, but also you can fall here. Right? And then you can start working from here. So you start bend your arms, defend Jonathan. He's defending here. Another thing that I like to do is scooping this hand inside. Look, I underhook his wrist, grab his triceps. Now I go right here. Clean the arm out like this. Now I get a nice armbar. And finish it. Right? Again, once I'm here, I go like this. Look, I can keep this hand here as well. I can go here, right, and clean like this, or simply pull his hand towards me here and change and push like this. So now try to defend. It's really hard for me to defend, so I go here. But sometimes when you find someone stronger, they can escape from this. So I prefer to bring this arm, his hand under my armpit like this. So now it's easier for me to go to the armbar. I like to keep this hand like under the wrist only. I can go here too. But I can go here, look, under the wrist only. See, over the other arm. So now I go here. And then break. So now it's easier for me to bring the arm close to me. So I have this arm trapped. You see that? So now he can defend. Right? So I'm here. I grab like this. So I go 1, 2, and then go to the arm bar. But if I have here, I can go the same way too, but my hand will be trapped under his arm, so I need to adjust. Okay, so that's why I go here. Okay, and then finish him. So shake, 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 bring him, come up, armbar. Or if you grab him here, like grab your hands together, like this. I pass my leg, and then I let it come up, and I change for a triangle. Okay, and then you start doing the variations that we learned before. Okay, so this is a very simple armbar, right? Very simple. Just from the ass mount, go down a little bit. So I'm here. So first I choose the arm that's on top. So I cannot be here. I need to build this angle here. I need to put my chest behind his triceps. Here. Okay. Now I advance my knee. Now I face my foot up. Now I lean forward and change my hand. Look. My elbow goes on his wrist and I pose the other hand on the floor. If it doesn't control his arm, I just pass here and finish here. Okay? In the meantime, if he's changing the grip, change the grip joints. No, the other way. Like here, right? I can change my grip, pass. Now it's really hard for me to stretch his arm. I can go down. Now I can push here to break the grip just like we learned before. Or it can go like this. Here, 1, and then 2. So now, easy for you to get the armbar. Okay? So make sure you're pinching the knees, controlling the position, super tight. Remember, I told you that when you're applying the armbar, you're squeezing your legs together. Okay? So you go 1, 2, 3. Change, pinch, squeeze, everything hard. Okay? Everything tight. Here I go. 1. Chest on the triceps, advance my knee. Keep the ass mount. Change. Why I'm changing your joints, change the grip joints. Is the fading like this. Great, my hand's already here. So I pass. Fall after I pass, cross my legs, then I clean here. 1, 2. Okay? Then I start applying the omoplata. Also, if you know a little bit of jiu-jitsu, you know, like if you put the elbow on the floor to try to escape, you have a great omoplata here. You can start applying the omoplata. We're going to learn that later, okay? But that's the armbar that I want to show you right now. And then the next one will be when you're grabbing the head, okay? The same concept, but it's a little bit more advanced. In order to understand the next one, you got to practice this. This armbar, it's the same concept of grabbing here, but I like to grab the head and push here. And then I go for the ass mount, like this. And why I'm grabbing the head? Because it's harder for me to bridge. Try to bridge, it's hard. Okay? So the one that we learned before, it works really well. But when you fight someone like that has more skills, okay, and they can move like really fast or very explosive, so I go right here, and then Jonathan will bridge. He start bridging like this. He start escaping, and I start losing the control of the position. Okay? So, instead of choose, of course, the arm that's on top, always. Okay? If this arm is on top, I go to this side. Okay? In this case, it's his right arm on top, and I attack with my right hand on his neck. Push the side, put my chest on him. Now I keep my hand under his neck all the time. So I go 1. And now, when I go with the step 1, putting the knee right close to his head, the other knee will be a little bit off the mat. It's okay. But you cannot do this. Okay? If you do that, he's going to be over the guard. So you have everything under control. And that's why I slide my foot on the floor, pulling his head, and then sitting on his chest, more towards my right side, the side that I have facing up like this, okay? Is the side that I lean my butt on his chest. At the same time, I'm still controlling his head. Okay, he can't bridge. Alright, so then I catch his arm. Once I catch the arm, then I put my hand on the floor, pass the leg over, pinch my knees, and then finish the armbar. Okay, if his arm is already straight like this, great. Okay, you can also put your head or forehead on the floor, but never turn towards his head. If you do that, he's going to escape. Okay, go John, escape. Escape, look, it's easier for him to escape because he's turning his hand like this. When you are with the belly down here, you gotta face towards his foot all the time. And drop your left side on the floor here and escape. Once you're here, you can finish him from here. You can tap here, or he's going to turn. Once you turn, I just follow him and finish the armbar. Okay? This roll is a little bit more advanced, but it's always good to know because a lot of times you get an armbar and you fight against someone really strong and they push you out. Okay? Once they push you, you got to understand that you got to face towards the feet of the person. Okay? So you go step 1, step 2, step 3, underhook. Then you put your hand on the floor, you go to the armbar, forehead on the floor, turn, face to his feet. See? Naturally, John doesn't roll. If he doesn't roll, he's going to tap. But naturally, he's going to roll in order to defend, and I'll get here. Once I get here, I'll finish it and tap him out. Okay? So again. So here. So step 1 is a good control. Underhook his hand, grab the neck, push, and put your chest on him. Advance your knee forward, take your left knee in this case, slide your leg, and change. Once you change, go to the ass mount, you control the hand, close the hand on the floor, step the leg over and tap him from here. If your jaw is really strong, you start coming up. I turn, I dive, facing towards his leg. Again, never try to finish like this. I see a lot of people, even like black belts, they try to face this way to finish the armbar. There's a high percentage your opponent escape. But look what happened when I turn the other way. I have way more leverage here. Okay? So it's always good to be here. Never also stop here. You can tap here, yes. But always face this way because you increase the leverage of the armbar. And then if he rolls, you finish the armbar. Right? So during the technique, during the fight, you're going to do like this. Step 1, control. Okay? So you put your chest right under his triceps. So you go 1, 2. You got the control here. Squeeze. So try to go back. You can. So the next time, 1. You see that I pull his head and then I turn my foot like this. I did really slow in the beginning, but now it's going to be a little bit faster. So I go 1, 2, 3. Now I change the hand, pull, and get a nice armbar. Okay? If you start coming up like really strong, then I dive. Change my hands to the grips on the wrist. Now I tap in here. If he rolls, I keep the armbar, keep pulling him here. Pinch my knees together, and then finish him right here. Okay. Just practice this over and over. Of course, repeat like 6-10 times each side. Okay. If you have a better side than the other, like repeat more. Okay. You can just do one side first, especially the positions start getting a little bit more complicated. I believe like this in the beginning for the person who's just learning Jiu-Jitsu, it's a little bit more advanced, but it's not hard to do, okay? Just make sure you understand the pressure, okay? So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now look, I cannot do it with my weight here. Otherwise it would be really hard for me to pass the leg over. So I go here, underhook, close my hand on the floor, tap the leg over, finish here. Okay? Or I can go down on the floor as well. So if you grab the hands together, and I have the break here, I have the transitions that we learned before. Okay? Or even, I can start like if he's grabbing here and go 1, 2, trap his arm under my armpit, and then go to a nice armbar. Feet your knees and then finish the armbar. See that I'm crossing my legs here? There's no problem with that. Okay? As long as I have this leg here on top. Okay? If I go the other way around, I don't have too much pressure on his head. Okay? So keep the pressure on his head. And pinch your knees together so have a really strong armbar. Okay? So let's practice that. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab the head. Okay? Push his triceps here to the side. Put the pressure of the shoulder, of the chest on his triceps right here. And advance the leg close to his head right here. Okay? My left leg behind his head. So once I'm here, okay, at the moment that I'm going for the ass mount, okay, we did the armbar. Let's say he underhooked my leg, okay? I'll go over his leg, alright? So, 2 ways I can do this. 1 is when he underhooked my leg. 2 is when he keep the elbow closed. So I go 1, 2, advance the knee. Now I can hop over his arm, okay? Once I hop over his arm, I scoop my calf under his neck, right here, okay? And I bring my foot really close to my knee. Keep pulling the head so it doesn't have the bridge. So try to bridge on. Always don't do this, okay? Always post your hand on the floor on this side, okay? So never here. So post forward right here. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you're going to put your knee, your right knee on the floor. Okay, in this case here, my knee that's under his head, my leg that's under his head. Putting the knee on the floor. Now I change my grip. Okay, so I change my grip in order to grab the shin. Okay, so I was here, so grab the shin and change my hand to the floor right here. Okay, once I do this, I lift my foot off the mat and I get the figure 4. Once I get the figure 4, there's 2 things I can do. I can finish on the triangle here, like pulling his head up, forcing to tap, or I can go to a nice armbar. Okay, pulling his head right here. Alright, so one more time. Over here, grab his head, okay, right under his neck right here. Advance my knee, push his arm, advance my knee. Now, instead of going with my leg under, I feel like his elbow is too tight and too close. Close your elbow like this, so it's hard for me to go under. I go over, like this. Once I go over, I grab my shin right here, close my hand on the floor, scooping my calf under his neck, lifting my foot so I can trap the leg. Okay, get the figure 4. So once I get the figure 4, I grab his head, pull the head up, force him to tap, okay, or bring his pinky towards my chest, force him to tap right here, okay. One more time. So step 1, I gotta figure out which arm is on top, okay. It's better to attack on this side in this case. 1, 2, 3. Now look, I bring my foot really close, make sure my calf is under his neck. Once I do this, I control my shin, post my hand on the floor, lift my leg up, figure 4. Now, I pull his hand towards my chest, and then finish him, or pull his head and force him to tap. Okay? So to the other side, if this arm is on top, I go like this. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Now look, I pull him, and I step over, and go kind of like an S mount, putting my weight more towards the side of the chest. Grab the shin, make sure you lock here, okay? And have your forearm right under his neck right here, see? Don't go like this, because that way he can post the head on the floor. Once his head's on the floor, you're not able to get the triangle anymore. So you go right here, okay? You make sure you're here. So now you go 1, 2, lock, and now you're finishing right here. One more time to the other side. So step 1, step 2, forward. And now go to the armbar, or apply the choke, pulling the head. Or you can go even for a wrist lock here. So you bend his hand like this, and pull like this. So it's a very strong and powerful position. So you go 1, 2, and then finish. Okay? So super simple, very similar to the other position. Just practice 6 times each side, or 10 times, 6 to 10 times each side. Underhook his elbow right here, okay? We got this underhook, and then we grab the head right here. We scoop the hand under his head. So I have the underhook, and make sure I bring his biceps against his face, okay? Just like that. Jonathan will be bridging here and trying to escape. I'll be in a good mount, so I control him right here, okay? Right now what I'm going to do, I'll step my knee over his arm right here, okay? So my right knee pass over his arm, and I scoop his arm and scoop my knee under his arm here, and make sure I connect and link his elbow towards his body here, okay? So I cannot keep his elbow away from his body like this, okay? So as soon as I step over his arm like this, I scoop like this, and I keep his arm close to his body. Now notice that my foot passes over right here. Okay, once I do this, I advance my right knee close to his head, pull his head towards me, towards my chest. Now I can start like stepping my leg, like scooping my calf under his neck, like this, kind of like an S mount. Make a transition of my weight, okay, towards the other side. But before that, I'll control my shin and squeeze really hard and make sure my forearm, it's right under his head right here. Okay, so I keep his head like on top of my wrist. Okay, so really strong. So right now, if I fall this way, let's say Jonathan's really explosive. I was making the transition, Jonathan's come up like really strong. I can still lock the triangle here. Okay, no problem. and I can still finish the fight. Alright, but my priority here is to try to be on top, just in case, okay? It's very important to keep on top like this, because when I'm here, there is like less chance for him to escape from the position. So right here, in the self-defense situation, I can strike, I can bring his arm, I can go for the wrist lock, I can pull his head, right? When I'm on bottom, right here, especially if I'm fighting someone stronger than me, like this, the person can start stacking me and start like putting pressure on me, right? Plus the person can start like going for punches in a street fight, or he can slam him as well, okay? So one thing really important, go down, Jonathan. I will let Jonathan do the triangle me, so because he's lighter than me. Okay, so sometimes you're fighting someone stronger than you. The person will try to pick you up like this and try to slam, right? So what Jonathan can do is underhook in the leg like this. Once he does that, he got a proper angle, so it's really hard for me to slam. Then I'll tap, okay? Sometimes the person will pick you up and slam, okay? Just to prevent that, you underhook the arm, okay? So if he's locking the leg towards this side, okay, he's going to underhook with this arm. So if he's locking to the other side, he's going to underhook with this arm. So just to get the right angle, let's say he's locking this way. I start standing up. He underhooked my leg, so it's impossible for me to, it's going to be impossible for me to slam, right? So again, so I get right here, underhook his arm, control his head, bring his biceps against his face, okay? Now I put my weight on him, I can have the other hand right here, okay? I step my leg over his arm, okay? So Jonathan will be trying to control the hands together. So I just put my knee over right here, like this, and now I scoop. I can put my head on the floor. So I scoop my leg down, keep the inner part of my knee close to his elbow. Not here because it's gonna be strong and open the arm. Here, so I keep like this, so I have a good control. So now I advance my knee, my left knee forward, right here, and now I scoop my leg. Wait for the ass while pulling his head up. Now I grab my shin, change my hand, lock, and now I get a nice arm bar, or pull the head up, okay? Or I can get a nice wrist lock, okay? One more time, right here. So I'm here, so I'm under hook, okay, control. I can put my head on this side, no problem, okay? Or I can keep on this side, as long as I keep his bicep against his face, okay? So now I step over, 1, scoop, 2, okay? I can put my head on the floor, start coming up. You see that my knees are really close right here? Now look, I can lean this way so I can pull his head and then turn like this, okay? So I got kind of like an S mount. Now I start grabbing my shin, putting the kneecap on the floor, having my hand on the floor, and then I can lock right here. Okay, again, so if I'm getting the submission here, while I'm doing this and Jonathan start coming up like this, and I fall, it's okay. I love the triangle still, and I have a good submission, right? No problem. Some people feel that it's better to submit from the bottom. Particularly, I like to submit from the top, okay? Just in case I lose the position, if I lose the technique, I can still be on top and still control the fight. If I lose the position and I'm on bottom, then I give chance to my opponent. In this case, like as a self-defense, he can start striking me. He can start controlling the position, okay? Let's work on that. Tagatame is like the triangle, okay? Same pressure, okay? You're going to figure 4 your arm instead of figure 4 your legs, okay? It's the same way. So instead of having your legs around his neck, I'll have my arm, okay? First thing I'll do, I'll explain like really simple first, okay? And then I'll explain to you how you're supposed to do the position during the fight, okay? Right now, let's just understand how the position works. So you're going to have one hand under his neck right here, and you're going to push his triceps as a C grip here towards the side, and you press your head towards the side of his triceps right here, and you apply this pressure here. So you keep the pressure of your neck right behind his triceps here, right on top of his triceps. So once I do that, I'll link my hands together. Okay, there's 2 ways for you to choke the person. 1 is like this. 2 is grabbing your biceps. Okay, I'll show you both ways. All right. So my favorite way, it depends like the size of my opponent. Sometimes I'm fighting against someone that's really big, I grab like this. If I find someone that's smaller, I grab like that. Okay? So step 1, and then step 2, you trap the arm right here. Now the step 3, I'm gonna control the biceps here. Since Jonathan is not very big, I'll control the biceps. Okay, once I control the biceps right now, I'll bring my hand over his head. Okay, right here. And once I bring the hand over his head, I will sprawl. Okay, I'll making the hooks like this around his shin, just like we learned before. So now I'm going to start applying the pressure. And instead of pushing forward, I'll push down, okay? And make sure that your shoulder is right on his neck. A lot of times when you apply this technique, sometimes your opponent put the chin close to his chest, and then you feel like that your shoulder will be right here. So your shoulder must be right here. Okay, so you gotta have this position. So if you put that chin on chest, okay, I'll grab my bicep and I start opening him up like this, moving forward, and then right away I move back, and then until I got the position, the shoulder right on top of his neck. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, and then 3. You see that my shoulder right now is right on his neck. Once I do this, I control the hand right on top of his forehead right here. Okay. Now I start putting pressure down. But at the same time, I'll get this sprawl. I can lock my feet, or I can bring the hooks on the shin, and start putting pressure down. So I put my head down towards the floor, and I cannot lift this elbow. Okay. I keep my elbow, my right elbow on the floor, and just push down until it taps. Okay, so I need to squeeze down in this way, right? Little by little. I cannot go like really fast. All right, step 1, step 2. Okay, it's just like a triangle, but it's using your arm. Okay, your arms. So grab your biceps, and notice when I grab my biceps, I don't grab like this. Okay, I keep my pinky right on top of my joint right here. Okay, so now I put my hand on top. I got this sprawl. Okay, I'm here. If I feel that my shoulder is on his face, I gotta start moving back and forth until I gotta find my shoulder right on top of his neck. Once I do this, I gotta melt down. I'm gonna put my weight down and then start pinching my shoulder down. Without doing this is wrong. Okay, so you keep here down. And you shrug at the same time. So you push down and shrug. Push down and shrug. Now when you feel like you cannot squeeze more, then you start like squeezing your shoulder down, like towards his neck. Okay? So step 1, step 2, sprawl. Make sure you fix the shoulder on the neck. Try to close your chin on chest. It's really hard. If his face is on top of, it's under your shoulder, he's going to resist the choke. So you're going to move forward and back until you get the position. Once you get the position, put your hand close to your forearm right here, and then start applying the position and start applying the pressure. Okay, down, shrug, little by little, and then you start putting pressure down all the way. Okay. So during the fight, it's really hard for me to just simply like go right here and do this. My opponent is not gonna be waiting for me like that. Okay? So I must like find a space. The first thing I'll do, I'll control his head. Okay, I grab his head and put my weight on this side. The second thing I'll do, I will prevent him to put the elbow inside my leg. So we need to put the forearm under his elbow here and walk with my hand forward like this. And at the same time right now, I will sprawl and close my feet or hook his legs. So I'll close my feet right here. So now I gotta move my hand forward as much as I can until I touch his biceps on his face. Like this. Once his biceps touch his face, now if I can grab like more on his triceps here. Like this. Because if I grab here, bring your elbow back again, John. So he's bringing the elbow back, so sometimes it's hard for me to move my head on that side. So I grab his triceps here and then push. And now I find my head right here, right on the side of his triceps. Okay? Now I am on the position that I want. Okay? But now is the time for me to get the pressure. And as you can see, during the fight, my shoulder is on top of his face. You see? Okay, so I'll lock my hand, I'll control my biceps here. I put my hand on top. Now I start like moving forward and backwards, okay, until I got my shoulder there. Once I got my shoulder on his neck, I gotta start applying the pressure. You start tapping. Okay, your opponent will breathe. You try to move. Just take your time. And even though if you end up like when you move here, okay, let's say you made a mistake or you couldn't put too much weight, so you end up like you breathe and end up on bottom like this. You're still able to choke your opponent here. Okay, you can choke from the closed guard like this, but what you can do too, turn around just okay. So what you can do is like trapping your shin, forcing to sprawl, and then you shrug and then squeeze him. Okay, he can tap from the bottom as well. All right, he's gonna be able to turn you on bottom. Okay, he's gonna be able like to bridge. If you apply the technique with your knees like this, if you mount like too high, turn it. You see, he got the upa, and he turns like this. Okay. And now look, I'm on bottom, so I trap his legs. I make the hooks, I stretch him, and now I squeeze. Okay, don't let his arm pass to this side right here. Okay, anymore. So keep right here on this side. So sit up, shrug, and squeeze. And then he's gonna tap. So again, so I'm here, I go step one, I go underhook, walk forward, trap the leg. If I trap the leg, okay, it's really hard for him to bridge right now. Okay? So it's really hard. It's a very powerful position. So I move forward until I touch his biceps on his face, and then I pass my head to the other side. I control. So I grab the biceps. I shake my body here. I start find a space where I put my shoulder right on his neck. Apply my hand. Put my hand right on top of his neck, of his head, of his forehead, and then I start squeezing. Okay. So here I'll choke him. So also, I told you that you can grab like this. Okay, you can apply with the grip like this as well. So always face your thumb towards you, and then you grab like this. Don't grab like using your thumbs like this. Just grab like that. So now you squeeze and do the same principle of like pushing the shoulder down. Okay, you melt it down, and you go down to close the space. Alright, so you grab here, lock your elbows, pinch your shoulder down, and like go little by little. Alright, so once I'm here, okay, I got here, look, and I just hold. I can trap his leg, or I can trap right here, okay? In this case here, if you turn, right, and I say Jonathan's turn to the other side like this, and I end up on bottom, right? Sometimes it's hard for you to finish from here. If you find someone bigger, it's really hard for you to finish from here. You gotta change right here. But if you're not able to do that, let's say if it's too big, okay, I suggest you to start skipping your hips and start like going to his back. Okay, and then you can attack the back here. Alright, and then once you're on the back, you have a lot of attacks such as like a rear naked choke. You can go back to the arm bar. Okay, and that's what you're gonna learn like when you start understanding the back attacks. Okay. But for now, we're just focused on the choke from here. Okay, so I go step one. Grab the head, okay, sprawl, underhook, walk with my hand, make sure I touch his biceps on his face, put my head on the side, control my hands together, adjust myself. If I can grab the biceps better, then I start choking here, okay? Or I can grab right here, hand with the hand, if it's too big, choking from here. If I'm here, I made a mistake of keeping myself like this, okay, which is like doesn't allow me to put too much weight on him. Okay, I must be like this. It's better for me to put the weight on him. But if you Jonathan's like bridge and turn like this, I control. I put my hooks in his chin, stretch, and then shrug and force him to tap. Okay, and the way you do it here, like you squeeze your elbows together, bring him towards you, and shrug. Okay, and then you just hold. Right, it's a super powerful choke. Right, so let's practice that. You can practice 6-10 times each side. Okay. First of all, I'll apply the katagatame here. I'll sprawl. I grab his head. Okay, control his shoulder right here. Put my biceps over his face. I can trap his leg right here across my feet. Then I will underhook his arm. If his arm is right here, I gotta go under his elbow. Walk with my hand forward, Make sure I approach his biceps on his face, using my biceps behind his triceps. Change my head, okay? Put my head right on the outside of his arm, just like we did in the Katagatame. So now we apply the Katagatame. For this transition here, if I'm holding like this, and I start to apply the Katagatame, and I feel he's not tapping, I switch my grip to this one here. So because I have better balance, like if you bridge, I can put my elbow on the floor, okay, to post. If I keep like this, sometimes like you can bridge and turn, and I don't have like any base, okay. So I keep my base like this because now I'm gonna start moving my legs, okay. So what I'm gonna do, I go with my right leg over his arm, and I'll do the same thing we did before for the triangle. I'll bring his elbow close to his body right here. That way, like I'll have space to put my leg under his head. So what I'm gonna do with my leg is this. So I'll pass my knee here, like stapling his arm, close, and make sure the inner part of my knee goes right outside of his elbow. Okay, and then from here I'll make a transition, kind of like to S mount. I'll be here, I go 1, and then 2, I go for the triangle. Okay. So first we start here. We're applying the Katagatame, right? We can use the hand on the biceps. Then, if he's not tapping, I'm going to change, holding my hand like this, okay? So the outside hand facing up, okay? Facing palm up, and the hand that's behind his head facing palm down. So I control without using my thumbs. I control like this, okay? So now, I'm holding him here, and then I'll do this. Look, I'll mount a little bit higher, and step over his arm. Once I step over his arm, I'll bring his arm close to his leg. Then I'm going to start posting my hand on the floor right now, using my chest on his triceps here, but I still have my neck covering his triceps here too. I cannot put my neck on this side because then he can move the arm out, okay? So make sure you have the chest right here over his triceps, okay? And the head still like in the front of his, right behind his triceps here and close to the elbow. Okay, so now I advance my left leg close to his head right here. And now I start pulling him towards me. There's 2 things I can do. I can set up this triangle from mount, okay? Just like we did before. So as I posture up, I bring the leg under his head, control my shin right here with my outside hand, okay? Control with the left hand right here and make sure I cover his head. Post my kneecap on the floor, lift my foot, and then I got the figure 4. Once I got the figure 4, now I can get the arm bar, I can get the wrist lock, or I can pull his head and finish the triangle, okay? And I just keep the figure 4 and pull the head really hard. So that's how you force your opponent to tap. So again, let me start here. I'm holding from out, controlling him, he's moving, right? So if he just is pushing my hip, pushing my leg, right, I gotta underhook his arm. Move my hand, okay? And it's pretty easy for you to do this. Yeah, as long as you're covering the triceps here. Pass the head to the other side. Control, make a base here, okay? You start like choking as a Katagatame. He's not tapping. You can change to this one. He's not tapping. So you change right here your hand posture. And now, you're going to bring your leg over so you mount a little bit higher. So you go step 1, step 2. Once you do this, you make sure you go down with your knee close to his elbow. Now you post your hand on the floor, you can release the grip because you're going to go for the triangle. So now I'm on this position here. Okay? So as I'm doing this now, look at this knee here. 1. The other way I can lock the triangle is like sitting down. Force my foot to come up and then I lock the triangle like this from the bottom. If I want, I can do that. Or if you breathe really hard, as long as I have my leg over his arm, I can figure 4 my leg, okay, and force him to tap. So once I'm here, now I'm in the same situation you learned before. So I turn his head towards my thigh and pull, so that way force him to tap, okay? Or if he's like starting standing up, you lose the control of the head. As long as you control the head, you can still like get the triangle. But if he goes really high like this, you can change. Hand on the wrist, change the leg, and then go for a nice armbar. And make sure you have the neck and the shoulders on the mat. Don't do the armbar like this from the triangle because then he can take the elbow out and pass your guard, okay? And remember, when you apply the armbar from here, you can always go back to the triangle again. Okay? And every time you do the triangle, you have the armbar, the omoplata as well. We're not learning the omoplata yet, but later on, like on the closed guard series, okay, instructional, you guys can see how I apply the omoplata from bottom after the triangle. Okay. So I'm here, controlling him, right? I grab his head, sprawl, underhook his arm, move my hand forward, okay. Control, okay, I have good control. Once I'm here, I'll cover. I'll start going for the katagatame. I actually can set up this without getting the katagatame. Okay, if I keep my head up, Jonathan can pass the arm back this way. Okay, the other side. So try to press the arm out so I keep my head low. Okay, and then I hop over. Look, I go 1 and 2, slide down, 3. Now lift his ass. And then S mount, okay, like I apply the triangle, slide your calf on his neck, okay. But since you're already here, okay, you can go for the katagatame, make a grips, okay. It's really good. So now you go 1, 2, and make sure your leg doesn't stay like this, okay, because your goal is to pass your foot to the other side, okay. If you keep here, you cannot pass the foot to the other side. So you need to slide it. That's why I slide my knee. And now look, easy for me to pass my foot to the other side. Okay? If his elbow is not close to his body, it's hard for me to go to the triangle from here. Okay? So his arms will cover. So that's why I do this first. 1. So then I can go through easy. Right? So last one here. So step 1, step 2. Go over. Okay? Control. Right, so now I go 1 left knee, 2 right knee, cover, put my head on the floor, slide my knee close to his head, lift his head up. Now it's my choice to apply the triangle from the top, okay, just like we did before, or as I'm going here, I keep pulling his head, figure for my leg, and then force him to tap. Pinch your knees together, bridge, and pull the head down. Okay, if you start moving away, you can also go to the armbar. Another thing you can do from the triangle here, turn around, just face the camera, like this. I'm just going to open the triangle a little bit so it doesn't get choked here right now. So another thing I can do, I can push his elbow to the side, and I do an arm bar like this. It's not an arm bar, like it's like a Americana, like a shoulder lock. Why I have the triangle lock? Some people, they don't tap fast on the neck, okay, but you can like pull the elbow to this side, okay, never to this side here. Okay, pull to the side here, crossing, and now you can torque his arm. Okay, he's gonna feel like a shoulder lock, like this. I also can apply the wrist lock through here. Okay, you bend his arm, his hand like this, and then pull down. Try to touch his thumb close to his forearm. Okay, right here. All right, you can do the wrist lock this way as well. Like facing his head up like this. And you force him to tap as well. Sometimes the guy resists more, but a lot of people tap like that as well. Yeah, so and then you can go for the armbar here. Okay. Also, we have the omoplata. The omoplata works when the arm is on the other side. Okay. If his arm is on the other side, I can apply the omoplata easy. We didn't learn the omoplata yet, right? We're going to start learning the omoplata. And after we learn the omoplata, I will teach you how to do it. Right? It's pretty much like setting up this submission here. We'll go through all the details later on. But just to let you know what you can do after you close the triangle. And like I said before, when you practice jiu-jitsu, when you're fighting jiu-jitsu, when you're scrambling, or it's just like a self-defense, I must understand like how the submission works. But also I need to know like what I can do in case like my opponent escapes. Right, I need to be like 1, 2, 3 steps ahead. It's better to be 3 steps ahead. So I have different options. If you stand up, what I do. If you try to slam, what I do. If you posture up, or if you try to stack me. Okay, so you got to understand like the movements of your opponent after you apply the submission. Why are you fighting? Okay, every time I'm fighting with my opponent, he's reacting. Especially if in a position like the mount position here, where I'm attacking, I'm on top. I need to recognize his moves, right? So we work on all that before, like what he does, like to find the space to escape, right? He can turn sideways and all that. That's why I'm here to help you in a way that if you fight and you got in the mount, you're gonna feel pretty comfortable after you learn all these positions and these transitions, okay? And after we learn the omoplata, we go more like through transitions, attack one submission after the other. I'll talk about this later on, okay? This is a very simple submission, okay? A lot of times when you're going for the Americana, okay? We go for the Americana here. You grab the Americana, you start applying the Americana. And your opponent starts stretching the arm like this. He's really strong, okay? He's stretching the arm. When that happens, it's really hard for me to bend his arm back, okay? If you stretch the arm really fast like this, what I do, I have the option to go to a straight arm bar. Check this out. If I turn his thumb up and push his wrist down and have my forearm under his elbow, he's gonna tap. He's gonna create like a leverage here where he's gonna tap. If his hands keep feeling facing this way, he's not gonna tap. He can resist. So you gotta turn his thumb this way, and then you drive the wrist towards the mat, like the pinky towards the mat, and you lift this elbow here. Okay, but it just like lift like this. You don't lift like that. So you keep your wrist on the floor, your hand on the floor, and just lift the elbow. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. I'm here. It's gonna stretch. I'm gonna turn. Okay, and I need to find his elbow here. Okay, and when he's stretching, look, if his arm is like sideways like this, I gotta fix. I use my hand to fix his hand and keep his pinky towards the mat. Now I'm gonna push down the pinky towards the mat and lift my elbow, force him to tap. Okay, so it looks like this. So I go 1 and then 2. Okay, that's a great way to submit. But the problem is, if you do that without covering his arm, he can turn. For example, if I'm here with Jonathan stretch the arm, I'm attacking, keep turning us. He keep turning. Okay, and then when he turns like that, he can pull the elbow out and start like escaping, or even like sometimes it's gonna hurt my back here, okay, and start like bother me here, right? And I start losing the position, losing the control of the fight. So when I attack the American and I feel my opponent start stretching his arm like this, I like to go with this leg, okay? I can do it from here. I can tap him from here if he doesn't turn, but for sure he's gonna turn. 2 ways I can staple his arm here. I can go and staple his arm like this. Okay, if I staple the arm now, try to turn. Now he cannot turn. So I'm here. But it's really hard for me from too late. Okay, if I do like that, great. Because you never know like if he's going to stretch the arm and turn. Okay, let's say if I'm here and just stay there, Justin. I decide to go here and then I just staple like this. And I start attacking the straight arm lock here from after the Americana. So Americana grip with a straight arm lock, right? So like this. So great, right? So I control him right here. But it's not all the time that I'm able to do that. So a lot of times it's going to turn really fast, okay? And what I do, instead of staple his arm, I will staple his neck. So I go with my leg right here. Like this. Okay? I keep my frame right on his neck. Try to sit up. Right now it's really hard for you to sit up. Okay? So I go like this. I go 1, 2, and let's say Jonathan start turning like this. So I always can pass my knee under his armpits like this. And then I go here. And now I keep it like this. So keep the frame here. And now I go for the tap. Okay? You can do over or over the arm or over the neck. Okay? And when you go over the neck, you can even go with the other leg with the knee on belly. Okay? So you can make really simple here. It looks simple like this. If I'm on the side control, as we learned from the side control too, it's pretty much easier for me to just do that because my arm is like crossing, my body is crossing his body right here. It's hard for him to turn. Okay, even though it would be better for me to do like stapling his arm here, so I prevent him to turn that way. Okay. from mount, you can do like this. So you go 1, 2, you put your knee here, and then this other leg you can put over his belly as well. Okay, here, and then start applying the position. So he's going to try to roll, he's going to try to move. I just keep really strong here and then finish him. Okay? This is just in case my opponent is really, really strong. Okay? So again, so step 1, step 2, he stretch, I go right here. So I can start like tapping like that. Try to turn juntas. If you tap, great. But if there's a lot of resistance, then I need to put my forehead on the floor, pass my knee in the front of his neck. Okay, and now I can put this leg here, and then I start try to turn juntas. It's really hard for him to turn, then I control him. Okay. So just practice this 6-10 times each side, okay, every time, so you can learn the technique. Do it slow and make sure you squeeze, okay, everything's super tight. This transition here is pretty simple, okay. You apply the Americana grip, okay, and you see like I'm doing this grip here, I'm going for the submission. But anytime that I bring his hand to the other side, I still have the grip. And this grip is really good. I have the Americana grip, is when I'm torquing his hand this way, towards his head. And I have the Kimura grip, is when I grab the other way around, and I put his hand down. Okay? This one is the Americana grip. Every time you bring his hand towards his head, and you torque his shoulder like this, is the Americana grip. Okay? Or the Americana trap. The other one is the Kimura trap, which is the one that you go like this. Okay, his hand is facing down. Okay, on this one we're doing the Americana trap. So when I go here, I get the Americana, and there's a lot of resistance. Okay, and actually I use this against the higher belts. When I get this grip, I like to pass the hands to the other side. Okay, and I put my chest. See immediately, I put my chest over his triceps here. And once I do this, I go with my knee close to his head, and now I go for the S mount, like this. And I have the grip, see? I still have the grip. Now I pass my leg over, and I have this grip here. I keep the grip. Okay, very, very important. So this grip here will keep things safe, okay? Because sometimes when I go like this, you can turn the hand and escape really fast. Okay, so I keep right here. So juntas can grab the hands together like this, then we can do what we learned before, kicking, right? So I put my foot inside, make sure I have this part of my foot touching his elbow, okay? Push and pull at the same time, okay? And now I start squeezing. I can shake his hand if he's really strong. I can move like this, okay? Change direction so we make him weak. As you touch his hand on your chest, you change your hand, okay, like this. So grab the wrist, pinch your knees together, okay, control, and then get a nice armbar, okay. Again, so I'm here, I go for the Americana, I grab the Americana, drag his arm to the other side, okay. Let's say I'm going here, he's trying to bridge that way, like he's trying the other way, just like that way. You see, he wants to bring me that way, okay, and he's really, really strong. So I keep my grip, I just bring his hand to the other side, and put my chest right behind his triceps, like this. Once I do this, advance my knee, S mount. Once I get the S mount, step the leg over, then I sit down, like really close to, my hips really close to his shoulder. Once I'm here, he's going to control, right, try to control. Make sure you keep his triceps close to your belly, okay, his elbow on your chest. Grab your hands together, John. Try to do the Mata Leon defense. Yeah, he can do this too, right? Like this defense here. So there are the positions that we learned before. So we keep the hand here, we push really hard, snap, and then we get the arm. And we get a nice arm bar right here. Okay? Or I can go with my hand inside, cover, bring his hand under my armpit. Then I go for a nice arm bar, right? I can make a transition to the armbar on the other side too, but we're gonna learn this later, okay? But for now, just like keep the Kimura trap. Then you can use your foot to push, or your foot inside to kick and break the grip. Okay, once you're here, shake his arm, change the grip here, okay? Grab his wrist, pinch your knees. You see when you pinch the knees, is you make his elbow be more limited, right? So it's easier for you to tap it, right? If you keep the legs like this, it's not gonna work, okay? Just like that. Then you can start doing this like faster, okay, later on. So go step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 6. And you fall, you get the armbar, okay? So during the fight, it's all about control. It really depends like who you're fighting, right? If the person is moving a lot, okay, like let's say Jonathan is moving here, I make sure like I keep my pressure, okay, here. And once I got here, I gotta pinch my knees. Okay, I make sure I bring this leg really tight, close to my knee, and squeeze my knee here. Okay, and then from here I start going for the armbar. Alright, step the leg over. You can post my hand on the floor too. Step over and I get the armbar, right? But I like to keep the Kimura grip. Yeah, I like to keep the Americana trap, sorry. So right here. So 1, 2, and now. I got like this. Finish. Tap him off, okay? Just like that. Alright? So just practice this over and over. Right now I say I mount on Jonathan's ear and then he starts like sitting up like that. Okay? You're gonna pose the elbows on the floor, okay, and then sit up like this. So I'm gonna pass my armpits to the other side. See? So I go like this. Once I do this, I'm gonna put my thumb down and then go with my hand around his neck, and now I grab his neck here. Okay, and when I grab the neck, okay, I grab like a chain strap. Okay, around. So he's gonna sit up. I go here. 1 and 2. I grab like this. Okay. So once I grab like this, I'm gonna bring my other hand right here. Okay, and I can actually put his back on the floor again from here. Okay. The problem of like putting his back on the floor after I grab here, he can grab my hand. And he can use the hand there, and then he can start like taking my hand off his neck or his chin. So you go right here and keep him sitting like this. You can grab the chin strap, or you can pass the hand and grab your belly like this. You post your hand right on your belly, just like that. So sit up, I go like this. 1, and then I put my hand here. I go like this, okay? And then when I have my hand like this, I hide my fingers. So it's really hard for me to control my fingers after I put his back on the floor. So we go 1, 2. Now try to grab my hand, Joe. It's really hard for him to grab my hand. It's too late. Okay? Now, I'm with my hand, the back of my hand on his chest. Okay? Right here. And I have my chest on my hand like this. Okay? And my arm is around like this. Okay? So once I'm here, there's different ways for me to do the submission. Okay? I'll show you 2 ways. Right? One is like link your hands together. Right? The outside hand grab, link your hands, close your elbows, and then you start like squeezing. Okay? I go 1, 2. Look, I grab right here. I pass the outside hand under my hand. Control, right? Now when I control, I close my hand here. Okay? Or you can keep open too and put your chest over your hand right here, your belly over your hand like this. He's already feeling the choke. Okay? Some people like to grab like this, to close like this. Some people like to be like that. So actually when you keep the hand flat like this on his chest, between your chest and his chest, you close more this space. It's really hard for him to control your hand. So you go here, now I go like this. After I grab, I melt in here. Okay, I put my weight on him. I can trap his legs, or I can keep like this. Okay, I can close. Alright? Why I like to close my legs here? Because sometimes when I apply the submission, if I keep my legs open, Jonathan can push my hips and he can press like this. Okay, and then he can start like getting out. Okay, so let's say from here, I'm controlling Jonathan. Go. He goes like this, and then he starts like skating. Okay, I feel like off balance. So when you sprawl down and lock your feet, when you try to press, it's gonna be super hard. Okay, because you're gonna be attached to him. So that's the goal. And doing that, it's gonna be really hard for you to escape. So once sit up, Jonathan, sit up. I go 1, Now look, wrap my hand on his chest. 2, tilt to the side. I can lift this knee here, grab my hand, and then I go back. Now I sprawl and lock. Try to push up. It's really hard for him to push right now. Or I can be like this. Okay? Once I'm here, okay, locking. Now I'm going to start applying the submission. A lot of people, they think that when they go for the submission here, they just need to do this. Okay? So if you go like this, it's good, but his head can pop out. So when I'm here, look, I'm going like this, sprawling, and then I start forcing, and then his head can like slide out. And then you end up losing the submission. Okay? So what you're going to do, you see I will use this line here, okay, of the mat. Notice that his head is on that line, right? Where it's sit up. And I grab his neck, okay? Flatten him on the floor, tilt it to the side, control my wrist, go back here, lock my leg. Now notice that my hand was here, right? And I have like a really good habit because I always try to keep my head aligned with his neck, okay? So if I keep sideways like this, it doesn't feel much to choke. So I need to go in the line of his vertebra, and then I start choking. Without taking my head off the mat. So I keep my nose and forehead on the mat. So I line and then lock my elbow like this. Okay? So I told you that I'm going to show 2 ways for you to end up finishing the guillotine. That's the first one. Again, sit up. I go 1, 2. Now I tilt, grab my wrist, and now I line, and then you're really tough. Okay? I can do this way, so now you see the phone here. 1, look my hand here. 2, tilt. 3. All my weight, the weight of my rib is on his face. Okay? So I put all the weight here to make sure like I grab, so I keep heavy here. Oh, Professor, can he bridge that way? Yes, he can bridge that way. And I'll talk about that later on. But you're going to try to manage your weight in a way that you're going to be on top. And you're not going to be here forever. It's just to set up the grip. I'm doing really slow. Because on the fight, it's going to be like this. I go 1, 2, and then I grab and go back. So lock the leg here. Now I go 1, and then 2 and finish it. Okay? So that's the first one. So just keep practicing this over and over and pay attention to all the details. The way I grab the wrist is like this. So I go 2 fingers towards the side of my forearm and 2 fingers towards the side of my hand. So it's right in the middle. Okay, this line here is right in the middle between my joints right here. My joints. Okay, and then I grab like this. Don't grab like that. So here. So keep your hand here. Okay, and keep your weight on your hand. That way it doesn't grab your fingers. Okay? And you finish. That's the first way to submit him on the guillotine. Just the head. The other way is underhooking his arm. Okay, so when I'm on top, I can go here, tilt, and then I underhook his arm. Okay, underhooking his arm, keeping this hand on my chest as high as I can, so my forearm is touching his neck. So when I'm doing that, I'll underhook and I'll do the same thing. I'll align my head in the same line of his vertebra, okay, his neck, right? So I go 1, 2, tilt. Now instead of linking my hands, I'll underhook. And once I underhook his triceps and biceps, okay? Don't underhook here. Underhook triceps and biceps. Now I align and move his hands together. And now finish right here. Yeah, keep this underhook here. This is really, really powerful as well. You can submit your opponent just with one hand on the neck, okay? But if you feel like you need to have both hands, go ahead, go with both hands, okay? I do both ways. Place it up, I go 1, 2, tilt, control, align, and then finish, okay? This side, sit up, control, tilt, underhook, align, and move with your hands together. It's very important too, once you align, to close your elbow, okay? This elbow here that's around the neck, so you close towards your rib. Okay, and don't bridge. You don't need to take your head off the mat. This is enough to choke your opponent. Okay. You can also grab the hand again. So go grab 1, 2, control my hand instead of underhooking. And the choke is just a patient, and you just wait. Don't go and try to force the guy to tap right away. Chokes are not like locks, like the arm bar. When you go and you snap, he's gonna like probably yell or tap right away. Okay, the wrist lock as well. But the choke, people sometimes because it's not a joint, right? They resist a lot. So you gotta be patient when you get in the choke. Usually after 5-6 seconds is when the person starts feeling the choke. So the first 5 seconds you just hold and then squeeze little by little. Okay. In this case, I'm doing the guillotine. I get it. I squeeze, turn a little bit, squeeze. I just go like little by little, little by little. Every time you choke, you go little by little. Don't try to put all your pressure like at once. You go little by little. Just manage. Okay? It's the constriction power. You squeeze just like a snake when you get the prayer, right? The anaconda. So you squeeze and hold, squeeze and hold. And each single second is like tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Okay, so you got to understand that. Alright? So we did when he sit up, right? So you practice like this 6, 10 times each side to see which one is your favorite side. Okay? After that, now you're going to do when his head's on the floor. You don't need to wait for him to sit up, because that maybe will not happen when you're fighting someone that knows jiu-jitsu, right? The person who knows jiu-jitsu will be right here. So what I need to do, I need to put my hand around. So I underhook his forearm here and go with my elbow around. So now look, I'm going to grab this arm here. Okay, I control this arm. I post my head on the floor. So now look, I can go with my hand right here. Like this. And once my hand goes like this, I sink my arm through, lift my body and tilt to the side. Okay? So I got it right here. So his arm is here, so I go like this. Do the same thing we did before. Now look, my hand is here. Grab my hand right here. Okay, control, sprawl, make the hooks, then align. And then finish it. Or you can finish with the underhook. Same concept, exactly the same way. Okay, just the way you set up is a little bit different. Okay, so I go 1, 2, and then underhook. Choke him out. Do this way. From here. Step 1. Now in step 2, I go with my hand. I can go with my hand directly, like behind his head. So I go here, lifting his head up and sneak my elbow through. And now it's like fastening my hand with my thumb, like facing this way, hand facing this way here. Look. And then I go here. Tilt, grab, sprawl, align, choke. Okay? And you go with your hand deep. I like to go with the hand deep like this when I'm doing from mount. Okay? You can use the chin strap as well, but I feel like that he's gonna fight with your hand. Okay? So just hide your hand. Use your body. Take advantage of your weight. Okay? Use your body to keep the pressure on him. Okay? So on this side is the same thing. I go here. You can go under this arm too, but the reason I don't want to go under is because he can grab my arm here. Okay? Same way on this side. So I go here, look. If I go just like this, he's gonna grab my elbow. Okay? Alright, and then he's not gonna allow me to grab the neck. But when I go here, try to grab my elbow. Maybe he's gonna grab with this arm, but then like I go really inside and through, so now I start catching his neck. Now I grab and then I go for the choke. So first you practice when you sit up, you go for the choke. And then after you practice, his head's on the floor. Okay, and then you go. Alright? You see that when you turn your opponent sideways, sometimes your opponent will be sideways here. Notice that it's really hard for him to put his head on the floor. That's also a great opportunity for you to get the neck. Okay? So let's say I'm here fighting with Jonathan, and Jonathan's turned sideways a little bit like this. Exactly. So he's trying to frame me here, probably. Right? To escape. So I go here. I catch his neck. I lean, I underhook his arm, and then I start finishing. So this way. So he turns to the side like this, trying to frame like this to push me out. In the meantime, look, I go with the hand around, grab. Now I like to underhook this because he's pushing me. So I underhook his arm, put my hand on the floor, and then finish him, right? That's a great way for you to get the guillotine as well. If you're not too flexible to go with your hand like this, you can wait till your opponent's facing sideways, or you can force him to face sideways. So when I'm here, I bring his arm here, and I just like start leaning this way, take this knee out, so he's facing sideways. So now I go and grab his neck. So you can do that as well. So go 1, 2, and I got the neck. Now I'm here. Okay. When I'm applying the guillotine, okay, just in case, if my opponent bridge, okay, and turn me over, right, and they turn like on top of me, I can go for the guillotine from the bottom, which is a guillotine from close guard. Pretty much every submission you can do from mount, okay, 90%, maybe more, 95% of the submissions that you do from mount, you can also do from close guard, okay? So all the arm bars, Americanas, wrist locks, everything we learned from here, Katagatame, you can do from bottom as well, okay? Because the close guard is the other, it's just like a picture of the mount upside down. Right now, the only thing is we have the advantage of the gravity putting the weight on me. Okay, I need to fight against him and the gravity here. It's going to be a little bit different because now the floor is behind my back. It's no longer like in front of my chin or on bottom of me, right? So it's a little bit different. But I can still like get the guillotine from here as well. I can still do the guillotine from here. Wait, no. The same thing, like let's say you sit up. I set up from this way. I grab, I link my hands together, I start choking, Jonathan, turn, bridge. You bridge, I will lock my leg, okay? And now what I need to do to choke him out, I cannot like face like this way, taking his head off the mat and try to choke. This is a huge mistake. Okay, if you do that, he's gonna escape. So you gotta put his forehead on the floor, and you're gonna drive. You're going to bring this forearm close to your thigh. That's what you're going to do. Okay, so you're going to keep his forehead on the floor. So you're going to escape your hips, put his head on the floor. Once his head's on the floor, now you're going to do this. Look, you're going to bring your knee to your chest and your forearm against your thigh. Okay, so when you do that, you're going to squeeze your opponent. Okay, you're going to squeeze your opponent. You're going to bend him like this. The more you bend him, better for you. Okay. So after you get the guillotine here, right, you're going to escape your hips and keep the head on the floor. Now bring your forearm close. You bring your forearm close to your thigh and then you force him to tap. So I'll be here. I'll grab his neck here. Control. Go to bridge. Okay. So he bridges. Look, I lock my leg and I do this. I keep his forehead on the floor. If I need to escape the hips just a little bit, great. Okay. Now I squeeze and bring my forearm against my thigh and just wait until he taps. Okay? One thing really important, when you get the guillotine from here, okay, and you get like this, don't keep your legs open, because then Jonathan can hop over your leg, and once he's on the opposite side of his head, it will be easy for him to escape from the guillotine. Okay? This is not good for me. Alright? My goal is to keep the opponent between my legs here, okay? Or I can keep him even to the side of the head. If you jump over here and then you keep here, I'm still able to get the guillotine on him. But I'll never do the guillotine on him if his head is in the opposite side of his body. If his body goes this way, he's going to cross my body here. Then I have no leverage to get the submission. Maybe if I'm stronger, that can happen. But most of the time, if you fight someone really tough, they'll escape. Okay, that's not good for you. So when you get the guillotine from mount, you can practice a little bit from mount a couple times, both ways, grabbing like this or underhooking the arm. See which one you prefer, right? You can also drill when you sit up or drill when you keep the head on the floor. You can do both ways as well. And then you can drill a little bit like grabbing and letting him turn you. And when you turn, you like escape your hips and put your forearm against your thigh. Always facing towards the side of his head. Okay, so I go here again. So go 1, 2, grab. I got the underhook right now. So he breathes. Good, John. He breathes. Good. I maintain myself like sideways. You see that I have the underhook right now. With the underhook works the same way. I put my hand in the middle of his back, escape my hips, and bring my forearm against my surroundings. I bring my forearm, turn more. So I'm here, okay? I escape my hips like this, really quick. I can escape my hips using my leg here or on the floor. The risk of having the leg on the floor is having my opponent jump into the other side, so you can keep like this. Now I put my hand on my belly here. I'm doing this here, and now I'm doing this. Okay, bringing my forearm towards my thigh, and then he taps. Right, linking the hands will make it stronger. Right, and also we have the guillotine. The guillotine that is head and arm. So after you practice this, okay, you can do like the head and arm guillotine. Okay, and the head and arm, I'm showing all this to you. It's because it's all linked together. It's all connected, right? It's pretty much like a lot of things about guillotine in one thing. Right? I'm breaking down the guillotine for you, so just make sure you do the right way. Another way you can grab like the guillotine is like grabbing the head, okay? And let's see if this arm here is on the way. I can't underhook. You can grab like under his armpit as well, and you do the same grip here. Okay, and then you go here and then do the same thing. Nothing changed. Okay, the exact same thing. The only difference here is he cannot use his hand too much when you trap the head, the arm as well. People that have like shorter arm, they prefer to have the guillotine with the head and arm. Okay. If you have like a longer arm, they like to get with the head on. Why? This is weird, Professor. But I'm telling you, because when you have a shorter arm, you grab the arm together inside the neck and the head and the arm. You keep the head and arm inside. When you got it, it's completely locked, and it's really hard for you to escape. So once you get here like this and grab head and arm, look, it's really, really hard for you to escape, and it's super tight, okay? When you have like a longer arm, you can grab just the head. You can do this way as well, but it still feels like a little loose, okay? But also there's a lot of transitions you can make from here in order to submit your opponent. I'm just showing you just the guillotine, okay? But there's so many things that I can do after that, but it's going to be like too advanced, right? For now, I'm just trying to keep this instructional fundamentals, right? Things that are essential to blue belts, purple belts, and white belts, okay? So here, we go 1, 2, control the head and arm right now. Same concept, okay? Everything's the same. I grab my hand the same way, okay? And if you turn me over, like if I'm here, you turn, I have my head and arm, the same thing, okay? My hips, control, and then try to fold your opponent like this. Okay? You want to bring his head under between his legs. That's the goal. Okay, you squeeze him. Alright? Okay. Let's practice this. Now you guys have all the ways to do the guillotine from out and practice all the variations at least 6 times each. Okay?